What is up, everybody? Beautiful people around the world. It is your host, Simone.
And your co-host, Lala.
And welcome back to I Was Thinking. Woo! I will start off by saying apologies. We've kind of ghosted everybody, not only on the show, but just on our socials. If you're not new here, it's been a habit for different reasons back then, but I promised myself with the new changes, we wouldn't do that. But, you know, life happens. We're real people. We ain't got a team. It's just me and Lala. So, yeah. And then the new thing we were going to try to do if one of us is absent and do little fun questions. Lala got very, very sick. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to know for anyone, comment below and let us know if you were at the if any of the 2 days of Chicago, if you got sick. Because soon after that concert, I was down bad, and along with some of the friends that I went with.
Yes, and she's talking about Chicago for J-Hope of BTS. So that's one of the reasons why she was. But you were already sick before, too. So it's like, I think it added on. Like, I don't know if you're still recovering.
I was fine.
How long did it take you to recover? Because even your first time you got sick, it was pretty long time.
So the first time I ended up getting the flu, I was down for like a week and a half. And then I think it took like another week for me to get like my voice back. Like I was fine. It was just my voice. So kind of the same situation that's going on with Shay, because Shay got really sick and now she feels fine. She has a little bit of the aches, but her voice comes and goes. So literally the same thing that happened to me when I got the flu at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
But then I was fine. But the wife was sick because people at her job were sick. They were the ones sick. I was fine. And I was trying to take my precautions before Hobie's concert. Because I even told her, I was like, I will be damned if you get me sick and I can't go to this damn concert. Like, no, I went through hell trying to get tickets. I'm not missing this. And I was fine. My allergies were acting up at the beginning. So I was all like, okay, it's my allergies, whatever, that's fine. I was even taking allergy medicine. And then afterwards, it was just like, bam, just completely sick.
Well, I'm glad you're better now.
Yes, and it better stay that way because I'm done. I am done getting sick. This is the most I have ever gotten sick.
Well, tell that to your immune system, but there's also just a lot of shit going on right now and going around with the way this country has little precautions, but we're not going to get into that.
No. Plus, on top of that, the weather.
Yeah.
Global warming. Or
global boiling.
Yep, as you like to call it now.
I mean, it's not like what I like to call it. It was officially before they started silencing the scientists announced we were in a boiling in 2022. I haven't talked about it here on this podcast until they started getting silenced and arrested. So
are we really surprised by this? But okay, we won't get into that.
No, we're not. Because I can't. I really can't. I'm already losing my insanity as it is. So whatever thread I was hanging on to for the past couple years, it's gotten thinner. Okay.
Listen, at least Hobie helped. Okay.
He did. And then other shit happened that I will get to in a minute. So let me talk about something real quick.
Yep.
Involving the podcast. You got to laugh the pain away. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, because I accidentally uploaded a really old episode when I was going through some changes in our episodes. And it involves, if you've been listening to us for a while, this little game I used to do with my friend Macy called Can You Guess My Favorite Blank, whatever K-pop group it was, song. Started out with BTS because I just wanted to do it with BTS. And then we tried to do other groups. So your girl got, and the copyright came with a vengeance. I thought that, don't laugh at me, Lala, okay? I thought I took some precautions to not get around the copyright, but try to like make sure I didn't get striked. And I don't know what happened because it's literally been years. I've had all these episodes up and I'm just now getting hit 5 years into this podcast, almost 5 years. That is wild, by the way, that I'm still going. But yeah, the game is dead. I had to go through and edit out the music. And you can obviously tell which ones I still had the original editing files for and which ones I didn't. So some of them are rough. If you listen to us on Spotify, I updated the playlist. So whatever songs we said and you've never heard them before, you can go on the Spotify playlist and listen to them. I think YouTube copyright is a little different. And back then, before some things changed, I was making separate videos for YouTube to the podcast to upload on there before I guess YouTube started uploading like the podcasts themselves. If I have a main domain and it distributes to other distributing places. So on YouTube, all the way up until I believe BTS solo era, you can still listen to them with the music if you want. I'm very sad about it because it took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to edit those. I think those were my best editing personally. But yeah, the game is dead. So sorry about that, guys. I've really enjoyed those episodes. They used to be my favorite ones. However, what I was talking about at the beginning, the way K-pop has showed his ass, I guess when this episode comes out, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I'm going to be so honest, I was kind of getting to a point where I personally wasn't really sure about the game anymore anyway, because I didn't really know what groups to do that I was even slightly interested in to really promote like that for free, by the way. So that, you know what, I'm not going to get into it. So that was before everything started happening. And I'm not going to get into it. I feel like it's been discussed enough on the internet. People don't know what I'm talking about. Just look up Kiss of Life or Young Posse or BM from Card. And I'm sure other offenses too. I think it started with Blackpink and the quote unquote YG leaker, which I'm going to be honest, I haven't been in K-pop for that long, but I've been in it long enough to have seen those videos before. So I'm not sure if this was a true YG leaker or not. It may have just been someone who held on to those videos and just re-uploaded them. But I have seen those videos before of their trainee days rapping to, rap songs and saying the N-word. So that didn't surprise me. It was just the other things, especially Kiss of Life, that surprised me the most. Since the beginning of this podcast, like I think as early as episode 4 back in 2020, I feel like when incidents happen, I have always talked about them. And even then, that was the first episode where I try to explain the shaky relationship between K-pop and the Black community, because it's not just hip hop. It's the Black community, especially the Black American community. Like, let's say what it is. And again, throughout this podcast, I feel like when incidents happen, I would try my best to talk about it in the way I could. I would even admit sometimes I feel like I'm not educated enough to really talk about it, even though I am Black. Again, we are not all a monolith, and I have to still go through my own anti-Blackness that I'm trying to unlearn just from having a parental figure who couldn't handle their own Blackness and was trying to, separate that from me as much as possible in a lot of ways. So I also didn't grow up really listening to music like that. I was more into TV and film. So it wasn't until later in life I started really listening to music like that. So even old school knowledge of just music, I don't have any I already said knowledge, but that's the only word I can think of. I don't really have that much education on it. Maybe that's a better word. And it just gets to a point where it just gets tiring. It does. But it's I think for me throughout the whole situation, one of the things that was the most disheartening, not even the act, because like I said, I haven't been into K-pop for a long time, but I am also one of those people where if I'm really going to get into something, I do my research in history. And you would just think from all the shit they did in first and Jen's generation, which was bad. I don't know how much research you've done in the past, Lala, to see.
Not for the first gen.
Well, first and second, and a little bit of third. OK, because we didn't have to just worry about the N-word problem. I'm going to be straight up. We also had to worry about the blackface and all of that. So it's from that, I would have thought in the year 2025, we would have learned to at least not do this on film. OK, I'm just going to be straight up, because, again, as I keep saying, we don't know these people. We don't. We really don't. But if you would think for an industry that's trying so hard to break into the West, where a majority of your music is inspired from, especially the community y'all take from, and you're trying to get them to be fans of yours, you would learn not to offend them like y'all try so hard not to offend your home base, which is a majority of the Korean fans and sometimes other like Asian countries. Mm-hmm. So, but there's complication and nuance with that as well, especially just as much as we try to separate entertainment from real life. Unfortunately, as a Black woman, I do not have that same grace as other people do, whether it's white or non-Black, to get that escapism. Racism's in everything. I've said it before. It don't matter where I turn to. It's going to be everywhere, whether it's the act themselves, the media itself, the fandom itself. And to my point earlier, when I said the thing that was most disheartening to me out of all this was watching Black people get online who don't even listen to K-pop. Again, having to go through this thing that I've experienced all my life because the way I was trying to be taught and grown up of like basically saying we hate ourselves because we listen to K-pop. We're not Black enough. I've heard it all. OK, so I think just getting that reiteration from a community that's also been offended, but like not giving the Black people that are actually hurt by this chance and like saying, why are you hurt by this? Like, you know, they hate us and all that. It's just exhausting. I think that was messing me up more than the act itself because I'm used to it, especially, which is sad to say, but even like the fandoms that are trying to be like, or the fans that are not Black be like, or even some Black people too, especially ones that are not Americans, like, why are you so offended by this? It's not a big deal. All that. Like, I'm used to seeing and hearing that. But again, to hear from your own people and saying you don't love yourself enough to be upset
That's
about
hard.
this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kind of hurt the most for me out of all this. And maybe because it is from TikTok, because I feel like during 2020, I wasn't seeing it as much, maybe because I was on Twitter. So before that man bought it, my timeline was a lot different. So I was mostly seeing like Black K-pop fans who were hurt by actions happening in 2020, even though I think I told somebody, I'm not sure if it was you or Gina, where like, this almost feels worse than 2020 to me, because at least y'all pretended to have solidarity. This time, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know if they were having some type of just offend a Black person week or what. But again,
but there was way too many. So
it was way too
literally
many
within a week
like that. Mm-hmm. It felt like every single day.
Mm-hmm. There was something new coming up.
So, yeah, I'm at least taking a small break from like social media and just like I've also been distancing myself from fandom just in general, even before all this happened, because it's just a lot. Even the internet is a lot, but it's like, again, as I said somewhere in this ramble, I cannot escape it. So it's like if I leave K-pop and I go somewhere else, there's going to be an incident like this. I've said on this podcast so many times, if I have to think about not only the horrible things that happen in entertainment itself, but the racism that just happens in general, I'd rather live in a cave. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, that cave is starting to sound a lot nicer every single day. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should find that imaginary cave I'm talking about. Will I find some type of peace then? Who knows? Man versus bear. I think I'm going to take it up with the bear.
Oh, it's
the bear sounding so much nicer right now. The bear, the nicer. Orca, the cheetah, the lion, whatever predator you could think of right now in the wildlife is starting to sound a lot more better right now than dealing with race. Man. And man, not just men, like male.
That's
men
why
as in humankind.
Yeah, yes. The human race. Like, it's just because it really doesn't matter. Yes, is there some type of unity in certain areas? Yes, but I don't know. That separation is getting very wide very quickly, and it's going across a lot of things. It's no longer just our political administration.
Yeah. So, and it's happening worldwide too, which I mean, again, it's always happened worldwide. We got the three witches: colonialism, colorism, and why am I blanking on the third one? Oh my God, why am I thinking of blur? I can't talk right now. Why am I blanking on the third one? White supremacy. Why would I forget the biggest one? Really? I'm just so overwhelmed right now. It's like, and that's like the number one. Anyway, the little recycle of white supremacy, colonialism, and colorism. They've just been, it seems like whatever we're feeding them, the negative energy, they've been getting bigger. You just like can't escape them. I don't know what's going on. It's not like, again, especially if you're like a Black person or definitely a person of color who've always had to deal with this since the dawn of time. But I just feel like it's getting worse.
And not only that, I feel like it's getting worse within our own people.
Yes.
If that makes any sense, because there's also a separation there.
No, or like I just explained to you, like I understand what you mean by that.
Mm-hmm. Like, and it's getting worse, which is crazy being with what we're already dealing with.
And it like, I have seen people talk about it where it's kind of reverting that way to the way culturally we're all going back to like conservatism. Like if you notice like clean girl aesthetic and all that, and like the way some people make like their videos of like trying to push a certain lifestyle to where if you really think about it, it's very conservative.
You're right.
Yeah.
You are 100% right. Because I don't know why I'm getting that a lot on my feed. And I normally don't. I normally get a lot of like the 4B movement type of situation.
But yeah, it's those certain things. And then like if you watch certain, like, especially women talking about like, we always joke about like how we need a man to take care of us, but like that also really goes into like the conservative talk as well, trying to dress more conservative, things like that.
Because they're trying to shut down and quiet the ones that aren't. Because there is, like, if you go and look, and there is, because that used to be on my feed, actually, I would get a lot of like the single women talking about obviously the peace that they're getting of being single and them making the choice of wanting to stay single because of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the dating is crap. It's
yeah. And then everything we're doing to trans people, like the whole passport situation that's happening here and just the LGBTQ plus community in general, like it's all going to the conservatism. So
I don't even want to talk
the extreme conservatism, because I've always said I don't believe conservatism is wrong, but there's extremeness in everything. And we're definitely heading into the extremeness, which is turning into what we're seeing today.
I don't even want to touch the iceberg of like the whole passport situation.
I know. And I don't feel qualified enough to speak on it. I just wanted to bring it up because, yeah. And I even came across I believe they are Canadian, I'm assuming a small artist, like this morning talking about how because of that, since they're trans, they had to cancel their United States tour. They just didn't feel comfortable enough and safe to have a tour here.
I don't blame them.
I don't either. So, but back to K-pop.
I was going to say, let's switch back to something good and happy.
I mean, it's not really good and happy right now, but
listen.
No, I just wanted to finish my rant real quick. It's just, again, I mean, it's sad too, because like all this was happening when I was riding on a high of seeing J-Hope in his first solo concert, which I'm still glad I got to experience. But it's like, I hate it's making me even side eye my faves. And like, I'm not getting into the whole argument of certain things I've been seeing too. I personally am just going to say again, I have to believe not everybody is like that, and you can learn and change. Like, I think that's also the problem, especially in today's societies. Like, we do not give people, depending on the offense, room to actually learn and change, because even like we have to know when we're like, they should know better. They learned American history. I'm like, have we actually seen what they're trying to do with American history right now, especially when it comes to Black people?
I was going to say,
not taught the way we project that it's supposed to be taught. It's really not. They're erasing it even more than ever. I know on one of the park's official website, like they completely edited and changed out like the history of like Harriet Tubman and all the other stuff they're trying to literally erase. So it's like at one point, I'm also like, you should know better. But then again, when I look at this country realistically and the way they teach history, I'm like, well, I don't know anymore. I don't. So,
and then on top of that, you also have to consider, and a lot of people, especially outside of the US, needs to consider that every state in the US has different rules and regulations when it comes to their educational system.
exactly.
So even though one state, like I know for sure in the history that I was taught back growing up, did shine light. We literally had majority of 1 year of high school was just completely covering Black history, but they're trying to take that away.
I grew up in Florida. I mean? That's enough for me to say.
Yeah.
When it comes to learning history and Black history and stuff like that, there's a lot of stuff I didn't learn until 2020 online during the whole Black Lives Matter movement. So,
yeah, and there was a lot of things where it wasn't until that whole entire situation that it actually dawned on me that there's most likely conservative states that don't show any of that in their history.
Yeah. And it's not only just that, it's also, again, TikTok came across another video. If I can find it, I'll link it. It was really short. I don't think I can find it anymore, but he made a really good point about the way America tries to market Black American culture when it comes to like the style, the music and all that as American culture, especially out in the world. So that's why people that don't live here just assume hip hop culture is just American culture, not a specific race's culture. And even with all the erasure they're doing to Black people now of the past, it's becoming more relevant. Even here in America, they're trying to make Black American culture just American culture in general. And as we see how that's working out, it's not. Plus, too, you could tell it's been happening for a long time because every time someone does AAVE online, they're just like, oh, that's internet slang. Who's on the internet? Quickly. Like, who are the people posting these slangs that Black people make up almost every day on the internet? They all copy and use wrongly. It just, yeah. So I kind of derailed again. But anyway, I just have to believe there's not every group is like that and people can change. Do I just have an open eye for things? Yeah. And maybe that's just to protect my own heart from not getting disappointed. But at the same time, like, I don't want to turn it to the person that I be seeing a lot online to where like you just assume the worst from everybody. So I would like to have some type of heart that there are people that just actually do care and are trying to do better. And you don't have to know everything, but at least if someone tells you something that's wrong, you're just like, oh, damn, I didn't know. I will never do that again. And actually don't do it again. That's all I really care about, which again may sound like the bare minimum. But at this state, or just in this life, honestly, just in this life, I've always said, even if this sounds sad, I don't know if I'll ever see like true change in my lifetime, but I gotta hope it's gonna happen, even if I'm not here to witness it.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree. That, and also, I mean, I know for me, with everything that's happened, I've taken a huge step back from K-pop because they portray one thing. And a lot of it is, you know, having to respect their culture. And that's the thing, too. It's like you become a fan of something and not saying that, oh, my God, you have to be a certain way or anything like that. But they do teach us a little bit of their culture. Right. And then you get more involved and you want to be respectful to your idols, to your favorites, you know, so you go down a rabbit hole. And my thing is like, why is that not being like given to us as the fans?
Because Black people are the most disrespected people in this world.
Well,
so no one cares.
Yeah, that's just like a whole borderline situation. But that's a whole other big thing. But the other thing too, it's they're humans. We don't really know them. We only see a certain side of them. And that's if any of that is close to who they are. Because again, some of these idols, it's just a persona that they have to create and that's what's selling for them. That's what's selling for the company. So it's just more or less like not necessarily, like you said, expecting the worst out of them, but also being realistic with like, I really don't know this person. I've never met this person. I've never had a one-on-one conversation with this person to knowing how they actually are as a human being. And for that matter, until I'm proven wrong, I will continue to support. But, if I do get proven wrong, then okay, the ties will get cut at that point.
Yeah. I mean, as consumers who have this fan artist relationship, that's all we can really do.
Mm-hmm.
And I also hated seeing a bunch of people just blame K-pop. Like we don't have a bunch of non-black artists who be doing the same shit, but for some reason, maybe it's because they're white, they get a pass. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Like still happening to this day. I can name a few artists who have done some huge offensive, who still have huge support. So it's like, why are we just blaming K-pop and black K-pop stans?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very true.
So, and I'm also tired of the argument that I will say this, of like, it's not even just K-pop. It's a lot of non-black people are like, well, they worked with black artists. They got black choreographers. They have black writers. They should know better. I'm like, no. Because as we saw, at least I saw with the Kiss of Life thing, it's like, yeah, you can hang out with us. But it's like, again, just because you're around us, does that mean you actually see us as people? Because I've grew up around plenty of white people to start to learn that's not the case.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just because you're around me and you're my quote unquote friend don't mean you still can't be or have some type of racist or anti-blackness tendencies. Maybe you're not self-conscious about it, and sometimes you are conscious about it. So it really just depends on you as a person, what you learned. And again, if you're willing to unlearn it and never do it again. And then speaking up about it would be great, but everyone's not like that. So I understand. Just make sure you don't do that shit. But
no, you're 100% right on that one.
Yeah. So that's all I have to say about that. Sorry if anything I said sound depressing, but again, that's just my reality. And I gotta, again, laugh through the pain. I'm gonna do some research on that imaginary cave. I'm always talking about maybe see if I can somehow move there. But I'm also not an outdoors girly, especially with my medical condition too. Like I can't survive outside like that. And that's another thing too, with me personally. I've tried to be as open as I'm comfortable about the things I've been going through medically. I'm not letting any of this shit stress me out to the point where I'm having flares and breakouts. Mm-hmm. I will not allow that. So whatever I need to do to find some type of happiness, even if I have to enjoy the happiness, but not deep dive, that's what I'm going to do for now on. Say what you want about that.
Worry about.
Yeah. They're already trying so much just to kill us. The thing I can do to make sure you don't have power over me is to live. And that's what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. We already have a lot to deal with in the real world, to then also having to put up a fight with something that is supposed to be just entertainment.
Yeah, but the real world flows into entertainment because these are real people still doing this, whether it's singers, whether it's authors writing books, writers making movies, TV shows. Like
that's why
at the end of the day, we're all still human.
Yeah,
exactly. And they're going to put some type of human experience, whether it's their own or one that they've studied, into the art.
Mm-hmm. Which I would rather it be of their own, of like what.
Yeah, but it's not always like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if there's anything else you wanted to say, Lala. I mean, obviously, you're not black, but still, I know you've had some strong emotions about all this.
It's just been disappointing. It was very, very disappointing. And that shit ass apology, I even said this before, like obviously in Discord and everything like that. Yeah, they can shove it up their ass. I don't fucking care. I will say that. You can go ahead and shove that up your ass. Again, like you said, you mentioned, I'm not black. So, but also because of the fact that I have black friends and I have I've dealt with some discrimination growing up, and I've seen friends of mine having to go through discrimination. And there's certain things that I just will not tolerate around me. That being one of them, the biggest one. I walk away. It's not my place to forgive or to move on or anything like that. Obviously, I would support anyone on their decision on whether or not they want to support or not support anyone in that situation. I know for me, I never even knew about Kiss of Life, so I didn't give a fuck, really, because I've never listened to them. But now after this whole entire situation, I literally went into my music services and blocked them because no, I will not be tolerating any of that. And any type of support not coming from me. So that's it. That's all you can do. I mean, there isn't really much we can do. Unfortunately, do I believe that this will destroy their career? I don't think so.
No.
I'm pretty sure they're going to probably stick a little bit more to South Korea, though, and try to just build in that world. Obviously, you and I've had this conversation. If there's not going to be a mutual respect of cultures, especially one that you're taking from, borrowing from, whatever the case you want to say, if you can't respect that culture that you're borrowing from, stay in your homeland. Stay in your lane. Go back to what you actually know and leave it at that.
Which really sucks because I'm also the person, I think I've said it on this podcast before too, like I do believe there is a thing of like exchanging cultures respectfully. Mm-hmm. I've seen it happen before. So it's just like, it's wild. And again, always has to be the Black American culture that's not given the same grace. But again, it's because people don't want to believe there is such a thing as Black American culture, which is one of the main problems. But it's like at the same time, it's like, because I think recently Ed Sheeran is doing something like that where like he is making some type of Iranian song, but like he has an Iranian writer on it. And I think also helped produce the music. And it's like a blend of Iranian culture. I hope I said that correctly. And Irish culture. Yeah. And then he's also going to do another version of it. Like I just came across a girl talking about it that's going to feature an Iranian artist. So it's like when you see things like that, it's like it can be done. But just not for people like me, apparently.
Ed Sheeran is very known to be very respectful, and he like dives deep into anything that he's going to borrow to make sure that he's being respectful. And on top of that, to give the credit where it's due. So, and that's too, because I actually shared that on Discord and I literally put, this is the way that it should be done. It doesn't matter what culture. It doesn't matter any of that. This is the way that it should be done. If you're going to borrow it, make sure you're actually learning from it then first.
Also, imitation's not always flattering. Let's put that now in 2025. I don't know what's going on to where, and I'm not trying to lecture y'all. I hope y'all know that. I'm just sharing feelings, but I don't know how we've gotten to a point where, because this also goes into a lot of Americans too, especially a lot of white people. It's like they see a Black person and they think they have to act like them in order to like relate or like have some type of conversation. And it's just like, do y'all not realize how dehumanizing this is? Like, what are y'all? I'm so confused. Y'all don't have to imitate or to pretend to be like us to enjoy the culture we have brought to you, or just to talk to me. Like, where is this Black accent coming from to where you think you need to put it on just to talk to me? Because y'all get real shocked when you start hearing the way I talk. Which again, is another thing I used to get made fun of a lot as a kid. Apparently trying to quote unquote talk like a white girl, which is like, no, that's not it. This is just
the way that I talk.
This is just the way that I talk. And just because I'm shy doesn't mean I'm not. God, just.
We're going way left.
It's fine. I'm fine. I know. I keep saying I'm done talking about it and I keep bringing shit up. It's just, again, it's been a lot. It has been a lot. I'm just trying to get all this out now while I can.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm just thankful I have friends. And even if they're not Black, they at least listen to me and try to understand my feelings that I can talk about this stuff with. Like you, like Gina, and like Shay, who I think even she admitted, like, sometimes she watches what she says, because even though she's Black, she's still mixed. So sometimes she doesn't feel like she's in a space to talk about certain things, which I understand and respect. But yeah, I'm glad I have people like you guys to talk about these things and my feelings, to where I'm not like being disrespectful on places that's going to end up on the internet. And I've got all my actual feelings out. Even if we don't agree on some things, but we can have mature conversations. So this is just the aftermath of all of my feelings and anger and disappointment. And I'm just like,
well, you know that I can go on a rant, because there's already been like 2 times where you're like, you are getting so heated over this. Like, yes. But that's also because like I'm empathetic. Like, I know, like, you guys are a human being. And it pisses me off whenever anyone acts a certain way as if you guys are not human beings.
Yeah.
We're all the same. The only difference is our goddamn skin color. Other than that, what else is there? Anyway.
Again, colorism, colonialism, and white supremacy showing their asses again.
I know.
Doing their witchy powers to control everything.
Honestly, I truly, truly believe this. And I've been debating this entire time whether or not to even say this, but I will. I truly believe that this all comes from jealousy, because there's a proudness, whether it's, you know, within your guys' culture, or whether it's even like within my culture of being Mexican. Like, we're very proud of our culture. We're very loud and spoken of it. And there is like a love to it. And there isn't that many other cultures that have that. Like, there's, let me rephrase this. White people do not have culture. They don't. Everything that they have is borrowed from another culture. And if people want to come at me for that, then it is what it is. But this is truly what I feel. And like, we've talked about this too. And I know I've talked about this with Shay.
And I mean, I don't understand. Like, I don't see a reason for us not to be proud because of all the shit our ancestors went through. Like, the fact that we survived slavery and we're still here. And again, because of the way the American system is, not even truly teaching us the horrors of slavery. I mean, Lala, you should have seen me when I learned during 2020, not only were we slaves, they would literally eat us, literally use parts of our bodies for like furniture and shit. The fact that we as a people are still here and they're still trying to get rid of us. Like, I don't see a reason for us not to express ourselves the way we are and have some type of joy, because we survived that shit.
And that's the reason why. No matter what, you guys still came on top. No matter what, you guys still find a way to be joyful, a way to be loving, a way to be respected and respectful, I should say. And it just, a part of me really, honestly, truly thinks that scares them. And the only way to try to get rid of that scare is to fear, or to create fear on what they're scared of.
Oh, yeah. I've seen so many times online, or just like talks of like how white people fear that we're going to do the same things they did to us, which is not the case.
Well, that's the thing, too, that they don't realize, because I'm trying to be very careful right now.
Again, sorry to our white listeners in here, but like, y'all just need to know the truth. If you want to stop listening, I don't really care.
And to be completely honest, if you're still listening, then you're trying to learn. And that's the only thing that we can be grateful for. It's not anything like, oh my God, here's our pitchforks and all that shit. Like, we're not like that. Honestly, we're just trying to live. We're just trying to survive. We're just trying to do our day-to-day things but also being respected as an individual, respected as a human being. As long as, you know, you walk your lane, I'll walk mine. If you're being respectful, I'm going to be respectful. But if you're going to be disrespectful, best believe I'm going to be disrespectful back. It goes hand in hand.
Right. Which, again, is wild to me. Like you just said, we're just trying to survive, especially in this American society where people don't realize a lot of the problems we face are because of racism. You want to know why we don't have things like free healthcare, housing situation, education in certain areas, especially if they're huge Black populations, because they don't want Black people to get on the same level.
Yep. And it's not even just Black people. It's just people of color, because it's the same way when it comes to the Latin community. It's the same way when it comes to the Asian community here in the US. It's the same thing when it comes to the Arabics, like the Jewish, any one of the people of color. It's always white supremacy trying to keeping us down.
Yes, but I will say something, and we can agree to disagree, because, you know, the model minority myth, and again, like I said, the colorism. So, like, unfortunately, you guys do have a little bit more advantage depending how much you want to adhere to white supremacy, to where you guys can get a little bit more advantage to Black people. But sometimes that does go into you guys betraying, you know, other people of your race and culture. But
that's still what I mean.
Like, yeah,
there is the separation between other cultures within their own culture is because of colorism.
Yes. But there's still ways y'all can get ahead of Black people because they just hate Black people that much.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, plus, too, they try to divide us because they don't want us actually getting together to, again, in their minds, overrule them. Like, if Black people and people of color actually, you know, got together.
They're outnumbered. They've always been outnumbered. They've been outnumbered already for a good decade.
Yeah.
And somehow the fear's still there. Obviously, the administration that we currently have isn't fucking helping that situation.
I mean, they've done studies where the trauma of slavery is still in Black people today and certain things that we do. So, like, how can we not think the ancestry and DNA of, like, people who are ancestors or descendants from people who colonized and, you know, destroyed other places is not in them as well?
Yep. Again, all we can do is just try to survive and try to push through for another day.
Yeah, honestly. And thanks for coming to our TED Talk, guys. Was that even really considered a history lesson of, like, race and culture?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
I don't know what to call it.
No, it's just a TED Talk. It's just a rant. Oh.
All the things. So, I mean, I guess we could pivot, even though we just kind of ripped K-pop into a do. But again, we're still, you know, we're still here for our faves. We're just, I don't even know what to call it anymore. Anyway, we can talk about ATEEZ for a little bit because we both like ATEEZ, and they're going on another tour, which has been very divisive. How people feel from ticketing to the places they're going, mostly ticketing and the prices. Yeah. You know what? K-pop has just been very interesting, especially with them trying to break it to the West. And aside from all the race things we just talked about, I don't know what they're doing, but it's like, at some point, something's got to change before your quest to get more popular as an industry in the West is going to decline. Yes, we have those few groups that have been able to make it, but if an industry, for people to take K-pop as an industry more seriously, like how they started taking anime more seriously now, the way things are going, I don't know. They're kind of imploding on themselves.
I think, though, they also don't have much of a choice of that. I was actually, who was I talking to with this? I think it was with Shay and Sen I was talking to about this. Because I had seen a video on TikTok, and the girl was talking about how all of these K-pop groups are announcing tours, are going on tour, and it's just back to back to back to back, right? It dawned on me then that there's a possibility that a lot of these groups are trying to rush to get, you know, obviously we've joked a little bit of saying, oh, all these groups are going on tour because they know that BTS is coming next year. And that is going to be the biggest priority, right? It's going to be BTS for a good group of people, right? For those that stand BTS. But the other thing, too, the logistics of it is of the possibility of their work visas getting expired. And in order for them to renew, we already know, what was it, in April? April of last year is when the fees went up for the work visas. The chances of us seeing a K-pop concert group again will probably be in a few years, probably after this administration is over.
So I saw that video and I saw you guys talking about it a little bit. I don't know if I'm saying this as a bias. As far as like, not even just BTS, but HYBE groups, just because of HYBE America, for some reason, something about that and the way they're trying to establish that company under like the Korea HYBE umbrella, I don't think as far as their work visas, it will be a problem for them from the way they're trying to establish, again, just because I think HYBE got announced recently as being one of the top competitors of the music industry in general with like Sony and UMG and all that. I could have swore I saw an article about that. So for groups under that company, personally, and I could be wrong, I don't see a problem. Now, will we see high prices for concert tickets like we've been seeing? Of course. And I won't be shocked, especially like me and you discussed. We were talking about when Hobie announced his concert to make up for that tour visa for the law that they passed back then. That went up like exponentially. For these other groups and smaller groups, I am not sure if that would be the case, especially if they can't afford it. And then we already saw the instance where that happened, even though, again, BM is under hot water right now, but with card and them having to cancel because they had visa issues. So like groups like them, and maybe even if they're popular, depending on the company they're from, I could see that starting to happen.
Now, but here's the thing, too, is under our administration, money-wise, I don't see HYBE or like KQ having a problem, SM having a problem renewing, but falling under the guidelines and getting approved to get that visa might become a problem.
See, I don't know the full details of the guidelines, so I would have to read into them. But yeah, there's no way, again, even with BTS and their popularity here in America, like they'd be very dumb to do that. But again, it's this administration. We don't know.
Listen, we already know what kind of president we have. And on top of that, you already have the tariff situation being in place. And then it being that South Korea, Japan, and China are teaming up with all that whole tariff situation.
Yeah. That's why I said when I first started talking, I may be biased because we don't know.
Yeah.
So I could be wrong in everything I just said. But that's why I was saying for HYBE specifically.
Oh, for HYBE specifically, absolutely. I can see them not having that much issue when it comes to money-wise. Now, again, yes, do they have HYBE America here? Yes, and that might help them. But could I see the administration and the current president that we have being petty as fuck, depending on the situation that happens with the tariff with China? And then if Japan and South Korea do team up and start adding tariffs to the US, could I see them being petty as fuck and declining the visas? Absolutely.
I mean, because when are these tariffs even supposed to go in? Because didn't he just push it back another 90 days, just like he did with the TikTok ban?
Except China.
Yes, but the U.S. and China have never been in a good relationship. I'm talking about U.S. and Korea. Well, South Korea specifically.
I know. But again, South Korea, China, and Japan have been talking, and for the first time ever have been putting their own problems with each other aside. So I don't know. Obviously, we have to wait and see what happens, right? There's a lot of things in hands, though.
Yeah, I mean, again, like you said, and I said too, it's just all up in the air and talks and pushbacks. I don't know if I can come to some type of conclusion right now until it happens. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm struggling to find words to say about this because I just truly don't know.
Yeah, but I'm not surprised on the amount of concerts that are coming because we've all said it, and so many people on Discord and are in the server that we're in, have talked about how crazy and how wild all of these concerts are back to back to back. You know, you have, what is it? The Rose almost, I think, within either the same week or the week prior to ATEEZ, depending on what location you're looking at, right? I know this was spoiled. You know what? I won't touch base on that one because that was a spoiler. Nothing has been confirmed on that, so I'm not going to touch base on that.
We can come back to it after. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. After maybe the next 2 weekends, because I don't know if they're going to pull an ATEEZ to where they can't announce anything until after Coachella or what. But I know what you're talking about.
So, like, I know that there are so many groups and other groups that we don't even follow that are going. And then you also have, what is it? Blackpink is coming on tour as well. I'm trying to think of like who else, but there's so many and so many more tours just keep dropping for this summer.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a lot.
And it's not even K-pop. It's Western artists too.
Yeah, that too.
So it's everybody. I don't know what's going on, but it's literally everybody from your Beyonce, The Weeknd, Kendrick, Lady Gaga.
The only thing I can think of it being that way, we're not even going to touch base with Lady Gaga because that whole entire situation is a little weird.
I don't know the situation, so it's fine if we don't touch base. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. The only thing that comes to mind, and this is like my accounting background situation, is how we're literally going to go into another recession. And well, we're kind of part of one already. But anyways, some people are like in denial of it. So I'm wondering if they're all trying to push through to get these concerts, because coming the next year, or at least like the next 2 years, financially, they won't have the number of fans they want going to these concerts.
So like do it now before it truly affects us.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
And trying to do and get as much money as possible to kind of offset it being downhill for like the next 2 years.
I could see that. That makes the most sense out of everything.
Mm-hmm. Like recession. The financial side of it. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that are like in play that if you start breaking it down, a lot of things start making sense on how the industry is moving. So not even just like Western, just the industry itself.
Especially with us as the BTS fans trying to figure out the possibility of their reunion tour. So
I don't know. I don't
know either now.
I don't know. I don't even want to say it, but a big part of me, there's something just in my gut, and I am so sorry because this might be just a little sad, and hopefully it's not true. I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but I'm so sorry.
It's fine. I have to come to reality. Okay. I've been trying to it's fine. It's fine.
There's a chance. And I don't know why, there's just a gut feeling in me that's telling me that BTS will not be touring in the US, at least not for the next like 2 years.
Well, I believe in your witchy powers, so you may be onto something.
I just, not with what's going on with the administration, not with how petty our administration can be.
Yeah.
Will they try to get their money however they want? Yes. But
I mean, they're already doing that now.
Yeah.
And if you try to buy anything from Weavers, it's only going to go up from here, as if it already wasn't expensive enough.
Exactly. But that's, again, because of fucking our administration. If we thought the prices that it was already to get something shipped from South Korea from Weavers was expensive before, it's about to be like 3 times the price.
I truly hate it here. I'm just trying to be a fangirl living her best life, trying to battle again through everything we literally just talked about in the first however long of this podcast. And I won't let y'all kill me. But at the same time, it's just
like at this point, and I'm not trying to like give off ideas, but it just is what it is. At this point, for concerts, it's literally sounding like it's best to travel outside of the country. And it would be cheaper than staying in your homeland, possibly even in your own state, because the prices. Got this issue. Yeah, because the prices. Me and Shay were talking. Well, Shay's the one that like brought it up. She was talking about how she came across a TikTok of someone giving us the prices for the ATEEZ concert at. Where was it? Where are they going out of the country?
Mexico City?
No, the rest of the tour.
I can't remember which country. No, I didn't pay attention to other stops besides North America they're going to.
Yeah, because they released the whole entire schedule. I can't remember what country, but she literally was giving the prices of it. And it is so much cheaper to just buy a flight ticket, get a hotel, and go into a concert to another country.
I know, but it's like at the same time, because, you know, there's like different concert etiquettes depending on where you go, making sure you're not being disrespectful, which again, for us, we try to take that into mind no matter where we are. And it's just like, I don't know. Like, do I want to visit other countries? Yes, but just for a concert? Not really. If I want to spend my money on like going to other countries, it's to like enjoy that country, you know?
Well, yeah. Both
and be a tourist.
I would literally, if I were to do something like this, right? Like if I were to go to, let's say, the Philippines for a concert, I would literally schedule a vacation around that. So that way I could enjoy and travel. Plus, on top of that, still go to the concert as well.
Yeah, I would have to be with someone like you to do all that planning because I'm very bad at.
Well, we already know that I'm very good at planning and looking at stuff.
Yes, I know. What are you considered a type A or no? I actually don't even know what type A is. I just know when people say type A, it's usually people who are diligent, works a lot, stuff like that.
No, I guess for the most part, yeah, I would fall under that.
Okay, I found it. I found it while we were talking. So the only other places they're going, which they got to stop calling it a world tour if they're only going to Korea and Japan and North America. But it's just Korea, which is Incheon, and the rest are in Japan. So were you guys looking at Japan or Korea?
I think it was Japan. Japan. I can't remember what stop it was, but I'm pretty sure it was Japan.
I mean, they have a couple in different cities, but
shoot, I would go.
Now, you do know, like Japanese fans in general, they do have a different culture when it comes to their concert etiquette. Yeah, as far as like standing, screaming, singing, jumping around, things like that. So,
I mean, it's different no matter. It's not like the US. So,
no, we're just all crazed over here, but some of them like it, some of them don't. I just don't know. Hobie seemed to like it, but
I think a lot of the idols like it. Well, I guess
I don't go enough to different K-pop concerts to know that, but
all I know is that Chicago tends to be like one of the loudest because that's usually what they all say.
Yeah, we're going to show them different in Orlando. So more groups can start coming to Orlando because the only reason I brought up ATEEZ was to talk about how we got tickets and then we went on another rant.
It's okay. It's fine. This is just a ramble episode. There is no structure here. It's okay.
That's true. Oh, God. I promise we're happier people, guys. Well, we try to be in the world that we're dealt with.
It's been a lot.
It's been
a lot the last few weeks. So it's just, I know for me, it was just wild. I did not see ATEEZ doing a tour. I did not. And I didn't go to ATEEZ concert last year because I was waiting for 17 to drop their dates because that was a little bit more of a priority, was to see 17. So I financially was not ready for this. So like on top of that, plus everything that's going on in the world and then everything that's going on in the K-pop world, like it's been a lot. So I think this episode just needs to be us just like letting everything out. And then we can go back to our regular schedule.
I agree. But like, no, I wasn't expecting it either. And I've always said like the second group that I like behind BTS that I am willing to spend money on is ATEEZ. So I was very shocked. And a lot of people thought it was an April Fool's joke. Because it dropped on April 1st.
Yep.
And it was just like, didn't y'all... they tore a lot. And I know even talking about that is divisive within ATEEZ. The rare times I do come across ATD like talk online. So, but no, I wasn't expecting it because I did see them last year because, you know, that's how I like met Shay and a couple other girls from the Discord. We all went in Texas. So I was just surprised. And then I was just not expecting to go. I'm like, oh, another tour. Well, I hope they have fun. And then I see freaking Orlando. And I was like, Orlando, Florida? Y'all try to avoid us like the plague. So, but I mean, groups have been starting to come here more, which just shocks me because we've been begging forever. So it's just like, and then the fact after the sale, they added another date to Orlando. Still very shocked by that. See, this is what we're telling y'all. Like, we're here. The crowd is here. The market's here. Y'all just need to come, because I promise you, if COVID never happened and BTS was able to come here during the Map of the Soul, we would be definitely getting a lot more concerts than we have been. Smaller groups do come, but it's just like...
Don't they usually hit Miami, though?
See, it's been tricky with Miami because Miami's going through a weird thing where they're trying to lessen their tourism. I don't know if I told you this, but like either last year or like 2 years ago, they've been putting out so many commercials to stop spring breakers from coming, which is like one of their biggest tourism attraction because, you know, spring break is different across the country. So it can last about like at least 2 months here in Florida. So the fact that y'all are making videos to like encourage people to not go to Miami during spring break says a lot.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing with Hawaii.
But that's different, though, when it comes to the culture and people. I find that a little different. Like, I understand, like, the locals, if you want to compare it, but I find that different. Like, you can't really compare it. I can't really explain it, but I feel like in a culture-wise, there's a difference there, especially with the erasure of, like, the Hawaiian people and their culture and all that to assimilate to the United States. I feel like the Miami one is more old white people just complaining, if I'm being honest.
I'm not surprised. But then again, Miami is basically like the second known place to party compared to Vegas.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but so there have been like popular third gen groups that have gone to Miami, but even like Western artists, like there's a lot of them that aren't really coming here as much. They're starting to again, I've been noticing. But there was a year like after COVID and like 2024, I've just noticed no one really wanted to come here. And if they did come here, like I wanted to see Megan Thee Stallion really badly, but like she went to Tampa where I live. That's a good like 2-hour drive. And I was not about to make that drive back and forth. Miami's 4 hours from me and I could take a plane, but plane tickets are so expensive. So the easiest for me where I live is Orlando. Plus two, I just feel like it's the easier spot because it's just like it's literally Central Florida. Like it's called that region, Central Florida. So plus two, I mean, they have a stadium and the arena, which is where they're going. It's called Kia Center now. It used to be called the Amway Center, which I mean is used for like basketball games and stuff. So I just never knew why they didn't go to the Amway Center. But I mean, aespa was there last year. And I don't know what other like K-pop groups has performed at the Kia Center. I really think it's only been aespa. I think they're the first group. And then Stray Kids is also coming and they're performing at Camping World Stadium, which BTS was supposed to perform at before COVID hit. So I also think Stray Kids is technically the first K-pop group to perform at the Camping World Stadium, which is like a soccer stadium here. I don't know much about it. And I don't know if it's like kind of newer or not, because I never really knew much about it before. So we have the spots. I just don't. And like accommodations, because it's in downtown Orlando. So there's obviously enough like hotels around the area and stuff, or in the outer area, which is a little bit nicer and not that much of a drive. So
I'm going to jump off on that one on location wise. And as much as I'm excited, like even with Stray Kids going to Wrigleyville here in Chicago, my God, when it comes to, because Wrigleyville is more of a residential area than anything else. So as much as I'm proud of them, because that is like one of the big stadiums that they're performing there, and obviously ATEEZ is also going to be performing there. It's going to be hell.
Yeah, and I do believe that Camping World Stadium, if I remember correctly, when Macy used to live in Orlando, we drove by it to see, because we've not familiar. I think it's also really close to residential areas, but like they hold other events. So unfortunately, which is another big problem, because usually the residential areas are like poor areas. They're probably used to the events they have there. Besides like soccer games, I know they hold like a lot of monster truck events there. So I don't know. I just don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad ATEEZ are doing more, even though they're baseball stadiums, like doing stadiums.
They could have done United Center. Sorry. They could have done United Center when they came to here. But I get it. It's only one stop. And if I'm not mistaken, I think so from them going to the Allstate Arena to then going to the United Center would have been preferably, because the United Center is it's bigger than the Allstate. So it seats more people, obviously. But I know they went with Wrigley because they're not doing a day 2 in Chicago. Because of how the schedule is set up and everything, I think that's why they picked certain stadiums versus arenas. Then on top of that, it also depends on what's going on at that time and if they have, that date for whatever location they're looking for. So United Center might be having something that day that ATEEZ was planning to come. So
that's true. Because I know people in Atlanta were really surprised. I don't know how tickets are doing now, but the selling wasn't doing that great. And like people had to point out, was like, yeah, you guys had a lot of people from Florida going up there. So now that we have our own date, it's easier to go locally. Unless you're like in Florida, Atlanta's closer, because that's the case too, if you like live on the border or something. But yeah. And also I'm surprised LA did get a second date, because they are doing BMO Stadium. It's the only stadium I've seen they got a second date.
Yeah, but that's not the first time that BMO has done that. Like that a group has done that for BMO where they got it for a second date. So I don't know.
No, I'm just saying I'm surprised on this tour. Like only 2 cities got 2 dates, and one's an arena, which is the one in Orlando, and the other one's is a stadium in LA. Usually most of the stops have 2 dates, and that probably is going into the whole money thing. Obviously, we saw a lot of videos of people talking about how they like went into like the queue to buy tickets and then left because of the prices. And didn't buy anything.
Well, I'm pretty sure once official platinum started hitting, because I know for the area that I'm sitting, I think it went up 3 times the price than what I paid for. So I'm not surprised by that. But then again, God, I hate the fact that I'm like, we're not, that's not surprising. That's something we're not used to, because we are used to that already. And it sucks.
It's just getting worse though. Like,
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Plus then you have, depending on where they're sitting, kind of like Wrigleyville, some people have their, what is it called? Their season passes, and they get alerts whenever an event is coming, and they basically get first picks.
Yep. Because, I told you that last time.
Remember? Yeah. The day before it dropped for us, the day before, people with season passes had bought tickets, which is wild to me, because if you're a fan, cool. But if you're just buying the tickets, so then you resell them at double or triple the price, like what the hell?
Yeah, maybe I'll get Gina, because I do want, you already know this, but I'll let the audience know, because we're going to talk about it before we end our experience with the J-Hope concert. And my experience just like being different than in my concert experience. I want Gina and Nate to come on here to help me talk about it. But Gina was telling us a story for Permission to Dance in Vegas, how I don't know if this is someone related to her, but since they had season passes at the place they performed in Vegas, how they got an alert and they got tickets and they sold them. And apparently they were barricade tickets. And Gina was very pissed. Yeah. OT7 after. I'm going to have Gina tell it, because she's like, I almost stopped talking to them. And I'm like, girl, I don't blame you. Because
no, I would have stopped talking to them.
You had tickets, not only just tickets, but barricade tickets for BTS. And instead of coming to me first, knowing I'm a fan, you sold them.
Gina I would not be talking to them anymore. I don't even care if we're family, but no.
I think I said that to her too. She's like, you know what? I actually haven't talked to them that much since that happened. I was like, good. Because how dare you?
There's no, absolutely not. That's enough for cutoff.
So yes, from that experience, we know that a lot of people that have some type of like season pass to stadiums and arenas for like sports get first dibs on concerts, which I had said that before because I think I learned that because of BTS's permission to dance, because there was like a Facebook thing going on of like people on Facebook trying to sell their tickets because they got them because they're season pass holders and they didn't want them, but they were trying to sell them for like ridiculous prices. So that's when I actually learned that was the thing back in 2021.
I think I'm going to have to get like season passes at fucking
oh my God, Paul.
Wrigley, because the chances of freaking BTS coming and performing there.
Is that the biggest stadium in Chicago area that you think they would go to?
I believe so. I would have.
I can't remember where they performed in Chicago for the Love Yourself tour, because I wasn't sure if they would go back to that or not, because it was in Chicago and I thought it was a football stadium. I don't think it was how do you pronounce it? Wrigley? I don't think it was Wrigley, but I cannot think of the name of the stadium.
Oh, if it was the football one, it would be the Bears. Hold on. Oh, they're changing it though.
Because it was part of their first like stadium tour with like
Soldier
Rose Bowl.
Field. Soldier Field.
Yeah, Soldier Field. That one. I had figured they would just go back there.
Yeah. I can get a season pass for either one of them.
I mean, you are into sports. You're a sports ball girl, so.
And that's why I wouldn't mind Wrigley, because like the wife is a Cubs fan. I'm more of a Sox fan, but that's fine. Not that we really care for the Bears, but I know that they're changing. They're changing their, well, that's back and forth, but they're supposed to be upgrading and getting a bigger field built for the Bears. So if that does happen, chances are, depending on how big, they're either going to do the Bears or they're going to do Wrigley. So depending on the price.
Gotcha. It would make more sense for them if they did the Soldier Field or whatever new stadium they may or may not build.
If they do, it'd be better because it'd be closer to me, because they're moving that location to Arlington Heights. So that would be closer to me. I wouldn't have to go into the city.
But yes, through all of that, me and Lala were able to actually get tickets. I got tickets for the date that they added for ATEEZ, because I wasn't able to get the ones for the first date, which is like on a Tuesday, because for some reason it was declining my card during the ATEEZ pre-sale at that. But for some reason, the AEG one, I was able to get ones in pretty decent seats and closeness. So were they platinum? Yes, but I was still able to spend less than $400. So I must have been able to get in. Yeah, just for one ticket. I'm just going by myself. So that's why I was willing to spend a little bit more. But I wasn't going to spend over $500.
Oh, yeah. No, not for one. No, I was really,
I mean, for BTS, listen, and I hate to say that, but I probably would.
I was contemplating, like, because of the fact that I'm taking my wife's going with me. So obviously I'm paying for both tickets. If I was going by myself, I would probably do what our friend Maya did and probably try to shoot, and Princess would probably try to shoot for sound check.
You know what's so funny? I actually, after the initial sale, because, you know, sometimes I just get bored and just go and see how tickets are selling. I'd actually came across on the day I couldn't get tickets on a random VIP ticket that I could have gotten, but I didn't because of price. Okay. I already had a ticket for day one. I was like, if I had seen this before I bought that ticket in a panic, mind you, I would have gotten this because it was the third tier. I was surprised it was on there too. It just popped up randomly. Usually if they sell floor tickets, they're platinum, which I've seen the platinum ones on there and they're like $999 before tax. And I was like, just one single one. I'm like, is this a glitch? I couldn't tell if it was a glitch or not, but I ended up not buying it. I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. I saw the price and I'm like, I don't know. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Got it. It depends. It depends on where I'm at financially at that time. And again, like, I would have to be going like by myself, or it would have to be like a group of us, obviously from Discord, that are going together. Then I probably wouldn't mind spending the extra money, because I do at some point want to experience like sound check. I don't mind about the send off, because I've I've heard the horror stories.
I don't care either. That's why I didn't care to get it for Hobie. I'm just happy we were able to get sound check. So
yeah, and on top of that, they changed. I guess they're changing the rules for send off for ATEEZ for this coming tour. I don't know the full logistics of it, but I know people have been complaining that not complaining, but have been announcing that it's going to be different. And I did read a little bit of the no phones, no pictures, which is something that they were able to do before on the last tour for send off.
So no pictures at all or just no selfies? Because I saw specifically it said no selfies, but I didn't know if they can still take pictures. They just can't take selfies. Like a member can't grab your phone. Like Hobie was doing that a lot and take like group selfies.
Mm-hmm. They're not allowing any of that.
That's so weird to me. I wonder why.
Something must have happened that we don't know.
It had to have. I mean, because I know there was complaints with Hobies too, like certain people, if he took a picture with their phone, they're trying to like get other fans who were in that picture and like charge them or something. And it's hard to send everyone a picture safely or something. I don't know. This is why I'd rather do soundcheck, to be honest.
I would rather do soundcheck than send off. Like it's
and
nice.
I hope BTS don't do send off, but I have a feeling I don't know.
The fact that Hobie did, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they do.
I know.
Anything for the company to get more money, sadly. Sadly, I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
And obviously, if you're a person who's trying to get Barricade, you're going to get that because that's one of the highest, VIP tiers.
Now, if they do send off the way that 17 did for LA, was it? Yeah, for LA, then I probably wouldn't mind because they're just walking in front of like the barricade and like waving by, and I don't even think that was an addition to a package. It was just, that was the end of it, like towards the end of the concert. Like if they did something like that, then I probably wouldn't mind because everyone had to be seated. On top of that, you couldn't even stand. You had to be seated while they walked by. So that way everyone was able to see them.
Okay.
So that was nice. That one I probably wouldn't mind.
And that was after the concert?
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll see, but we'll be seeing them this summer. So you got to worry about that personally, but.
Yeah, I can't remember. Actually, was it after the concert? Or maybe I'm thinking like during soundcheck for LA.
Because I thought it was during soundcheck.
I think it was during soundcheck.
But that's still different than send-off then.
Yeah. But they didn't do that for any of the other places when it came to soundcheck. So it was still nice.
Yeah. I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see. We'll see what happens.
We will.
I'm just happy to be in the building.
Yeah, me too.
And I get to finally see ATEEZ. Like that's my other group.
Well, I'm glad. I hope you have fun. And I'm sure we'll come together and do an episode and talk about it. So Speaking of concerts and talking about that, because I have a feeling I actually don't know how long we've been talking. Yeah. So anyway, before we officially leave, because I feel like I've gotten all my ranting out. Hopefully you did too, Lala.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. And like I just said, once we both see ATEEZ, I'm sure we'll do an episode of talking about our concert experience, seeing them. Let's also talk about another concert experience we had this year with Mr. J, because that's what we refer to him now in America. It is funny because he just refers to himself as the letter J. Like he knows we call him J, but he just thinks it's the letter J, not us like spelling out Jay. It's fine. It's very cute. He also, I saw on a live just recently discovered how we spell Opa in the romanization way. And like he had me dying the way he kept saying it. I'm like, do we sound like this to y'all? Is this what we sound like?
There is the culture difference there. That's, yeah.
I mean, with the voice he was putting on. So, which was cute. But then again, I'm sitting here like, do I sound like this to you? I'm a little embarrassed. Like, but anyway, yes, we both saw Jay, aka J-Hope, aka Hobie. He got a lot of names, aka his government name, Jung Ho Sok. of BTS. We had a splendid time. No, Lala saw him in Chicago. I saw him in Oakland. I was able to finally meet. I don't know how many of y'all know this. Even though I've had Gina on this podcast before, we never actually met in person. Like I haven't met Lala in person yet. So it was the first time I actually got to meet her and our friend Nay. We stayed at Nay's house and went over to Oakland. So we are planning to have a separate episode where me, Gina, and Nay talk about our experience seeing Hobie in Oakland, because we actually got lucky and was able to get sound check both days because they were honoring resale tickets on the floor. And we can discuss like how they were doing that. But yeah, I want to go into a little bit deeper into that as well. And I know I'm going to say this now, Gina and Nay are going to make fun of me when I start talking about that confetti, because me and that confetti got beef. Okay. I'm going to mention the word confetti, and both of them, I know for a fact, are just going to start busting out laughing, because what happened with me and that confetti. I went to dinner last night for my friend Precious's birthday. I opened up my wallet. There was confetti in there. I'm still finding confetti in weird places.
That's Hobie's way. That's Hobie's way of like brightening your day a little bit. Okay?
Dial it back, because I got attacked by that confetti, especially Date. I'll never be able to hear the song Just Dance again, especially that string confetti, the way it attacked me, Lala. Okay. I literally got attacked by that confetti. I will go into more detail when they come on, and I'm making sure I bother them enough to come on, but they will gladly tell you that story because they say it's their favorite memory throughout that whole experience of the way I was attacked by the confetti. But anyway, yes, we're going to discuss the whole trip there and getting sound check both days and just things like that. So, obviously, as you could tell, I had a great time. And then if Lala wants to talk about her time there, and also how everybody apparently got sick in Chicago.
Oh my God. I'm
just lucky y'all didn't get Hobie sick enough to where he had to cancel any days, because I promise you, the fandom would have been after everybody in Chicago.
Listen, I don't know what happened. Okay, I don't know who went to this concert and wasn't supposed to because they were sick. All I know is that it was a freaking domino effect and everybody got sick. There was only like maybe not even a handful of people that went with us. I can't even remember how many of there was. 12.
Yes.
Yes.
It was about 12 of y'all. There was
12 of us. Jesus. Yeah, there was 12 of us. I'm starting to remember the chaos and the nightmare of buying these tickets. I'm not even going to touch on that. We got it. We went. It was fun. No, but I think from us 12, I think only 2 people didn't get sick.
Maybe 2 or 3.
I think 2 or 3 people didn't get sick. I know Maya and Sen, 100% they didn't get sick. I think Maya got sick like afterwards, but I think that was like something different. And I believe Princess.
Well, she said she didn't get sick.
That's why.
Oh, you're saying Maya didn't get sick?
Yeah, Maya didn't get sick.
I thought you were saying she did. Okay.
No. From that trip alone, no. Maya Sen, which is surprising because so it was me and Maya sharing a room, and I had I had the hold on both rooms. So me and Maya shared one room, and Shay and Sen shared another room. When we went to go check into the hotel, the person, the receptionist person ended up giving us one of the conjoint. So it had that room, that door in between. Shay was all like, great. So now everybody's going to be coming in here. Like, yeah, pretty much. That's how it's going to work. So yeah, somehow both me and Shay got super sick, and poor Shay is still battling it out to just get like a normal voice. So I have no idea what the hell happened, what was in the air, what happened. All I know is that both me and Shay are kind of traumatized.
I feel like she got hit the hardest. I've never seen her that sick before.
Yeah. And she's even said that she's never remembered ever getting this sick before.
That's wild.
So she's completely traumatized out of that entire experience. But it was a lot of fun, though. It was very fun. It was very cold. I remember that. Oh my God. When we got to the damn arena, we had to stand outside. And mind you, we didn't get there super early. I think we got there like 30 minutes before the doors actually opened. It was so windy and so cold. We were all freezing. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's another reason why we got sick, because the temperature dropped tremendously the night that Colby was performing for day one. So, but other than that, like, I loved it. The whole entire stage, seeing him in person, it honestly took a lot of me not to cry when he had the clips of like him and also the members of like the practicing and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that was just, it was so cute. Yeah. And also we were part of day one where we were singing with him, and he got shocked because he was singing Yoongi's part. And I actually have a clip of that, so I might post that.
You should.
I might post that. But overall, like, it was really good. It was a really good experience. We managed to get good seats. Both me and Maya did not stand up. So we had the one row in front of us. We were the second row on the 200 section. But behind us, we had, I think it was 4 little girls that were there to watch. And like, I was even telling them, I was like, oh my God, I feel bad. Like, if everyone stands, they're not going to be able to see anything because they were little. That's how little they were.
Oh.
And luckily, the people in front of us didn't stand at all. They just they were sitting, you know, jamming out and stuff like that. So me and Maya, because it was me, Maya, Sen, and Shay took the last seat at the end. I know Shay and Sen did stand up, but I believe the parents or the 2 moms of the group of the kids were sitting at that end. But yeah, we managed to just stay seated. So, and it was so cute seeing how happy, or hearing how happy and everything like that the girls were. But there were certain parts where you can tell that Jay was acting a little wild. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't know if this is appropriate for these girls behind us.
And it's not going to be anymore. And you bringing that up remind me, because that goes into another rant I have. We don't have time to do it today. I'll do it when the 4 of us are on here. And I think Gina was going to bring it up too, because apparently the Oakland, I don't know why, but mostly for day one, got so much backlash online, like saying people weren't enjoying the concert, were sitting down and stuff. I think that goes into like the way people experience concerts that I want to talk about. And I think Gina did too. But it's just like, people don't think about that, because you were sitting down not because you weren't enjoying the show, but you were being considerate of the little kids behind you. So it's just like, just let people enjoy concerts the way they enjoy it. Sometimes some people, like, that might have been their first time seeing Hobie, so they're just too shocked to really react. Some people scream their head off and dance. That's fine too. Some people I've seen stand there completely, but they're also singing along. Like, stop trying to police the way people enjoy concerts. If he's not saying anything about it, enjoy concerts the way you want to enjoy it, and like, be quiet, because usually I go blank and I'm just watching the artist. I'm not paying attention to people around me and what they're doing, unless it's like people in front of me and they're blocking their view of like raising their light sticks too high or their phones. That I will complain about. But other than that, because I try to be considerate of people behind me, and I wasn't trying to raise my light stick at least too high. I don't know, like the height range of them being able to see. I am bad at that when it comes to the standing, but still.
I think for the most part, and even in our entire section, the people that were jamming with their light stick were pretty good at having, I think, the etiquette of like South Korea, because I think South Korea, they keep it like head level, I guess you could say.
I want to say like maybe shoulder length.
Yeah, like shoulder length. Like, they don't go high. They just, now there's certain parts, obviously, where they will raise it depending on the song, right? Like there's certain, like, again, there's an etiquette to it where everyone, it's like a unit thing, you know, that they do it, which that did happen at certain parts. But for the most part, everyone kind of kept it at just like shoulder length around us. Like, I know I did. And again, like you said, we were just being a little bit more mindful of having like the kids behind us. And again, the people in front of us didn't stand up. So like, I didn't feel like I had to stand up.
Yeah.
Like, why am I going to be an asshole and then just block these kids behind? Like, everyone pays for their ticket, you know? So it's also the same thing where like people that bring signs in the 200 section and decide to like hold it throughout the entire damn concert. It's like, put it down. There's a chance that they might see it, but the chance of it being is very unlikely.
Well, that's why I am happy that, because before, when there was army time, it would just be like, you know, before the encore and stuff, like it would just be dark. The crowd would like practice doing the wave, because I noticed they don't really do the wave as much. At least Hobie didn't do the wave in the arenas like at the shows this time like they used to. But I appreciate, and this started happening during Permission to Dance, they dedicate the time now from his last song before the encore where they will do a section called Army Time, where now they're going to show off the signs. And they do see it in the background. We've seen it during behind the scenes stuff where like they give him a monitor where the cameras show certain signs. Yep. And I do realize I've noticed, I think, to shine light more on people in higher sections, if you're going to get your sign notice, it's going to be the 100 or 200 section. So floor people, it is what it is. But from what I noticed the 2 days I was there, none of the signs that people brought on the floor were shown. It was to give people like in the 100 and 200 section a chance to like be seen and stuff. So it's like, that's fine. But now they have created a designated time for you to hold up your signs like that. So just wait until Army Time to try to get the chance for the cameraman to see you and show your sign.
Yeah. And I think a lot of other groups are trying to do the same thing, because 17 had that too, where they had a carrot moment, you know, for them to showcase their signs and stuff like that. But I do remember it was for 17 when we went to 17, and it wasn't in our section, but it was the section next to us that we saw. I believe it was like two or three people that had like a cardboard size, like, poster that you do a presentation for school up for like a good portion of like the half end of the concert. And I'm just like, I would be so pissed if I was behind them. Like, yo, you're kind of like covering the view for other people. Like, bring it down, you know, once it's time to have it out, you know, during like carrot time and stuff, like, all right, cool. Then that's when you take it out. But other than that, like, chill back, put it down, get your light stick. We're good.
Yeah, because that is, you know, very rooted and considerate. So
yeah, again, it's, you know, with the concert etiquette portion.
And unfortunately, the artists are too busy right now. Like, yes, they're trying to interact with the fans, but at the same time, they're focused on performing.
So, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. There was a part of me, and obviously you and I have had this conversation. There was a part of me that was a little bit regretting the fact of getting the ticket and planning all of this, but I think it had to do more with the fact of like how big the group was.
Yeah.
And I think, Shay, if Shay hears this, she's gonna beat the hell out of me.
I don't think she listens to my podcast.
Does she?
I know I had her on here, but I'm like, I didn't think she was a podcast girl to begin with.
Sometimes. I don't think
you should ask her
very much. Yeah, I'll find out.
Hey, girl, do you listen?
At the same time, I don't want her to.
Why?
So, okay, because this is why. So there was, and again, it's the whole witchy thing that you like to point out on me.
I mean, you're the one who first brought it up, and I'm just emphasizing that. Okay.
I know. There was a part of me that was kind of like, I have a feeling I'll probably end up getting sick because of the amount of people that we were getting together. Again, it was 12 people. There was 12 of us. And then obviously everyone got to the hotel or wherever they were staying the day before. We ended up going to lunch. Then we went out dinner. Well, no, we went out to lunch. We went out to dinner. And then we met up with Dana, who does the BTS news. For those that don't, if you follow her on TikTok, we managed to get with her at the pub she was at. And I have a feeling like from then on, like that's when everybody started like to get somewhat sick.
Yeah, because I know she got sick too.
She did get sick. She got COVID.
Yeah.
She got COVID after that. And I think a lot of her people got sick too.
Mm.
So it was like a huge chaos. But yeah, a part of me like was like, I don't know if I should be doing this. But that was that. That was the whole like, I have a feeling I'm going to get sick or something. And sure enough, I got sick.
I mean, I don't want to be like, but it was worth it. But like,
it was worth it though. Yeah, it was. It was like when I think back about it, like I still had fun. I got to see friends. I got to see Hobie. I got to see the other half of Soap. Like, you know, it just felt like the closure of chapter 2.
Yeah. +2, obviously, it's Hobie. Or, I mean, it's just like a part of BTS, but like Hobie knows how to put on a show.
Oh my God, does he know how to put a show? There was a part of me that I wish I would have taken my wife, my best friend, and her husband, because they would have enjoyed it.
So they can understand too.
Well, see, here's the thing though. The wife went with me to go see Yoongi, and she enjoyed the hell out of that show. So a part of me would like be like, oh my God, you would enjoy the hell out of Hobie. And my best friend went with me to go see in theaters the Busan show. She went with me, and she literally said, she's like, if the wife can't go with you when BTS comes, you can take me with, because I want to see it. And funny enough, Hobie is the one that grabbed her attention.
Yeah, she would have enjoyed that.
She would have enjoyed it so much, because she loves like someone that puts on like a good show, that's a good dancer and everything. I was like, oh, I kind of regret not taking them. Like, I should have just planned something separate with them. And like,
it's fine though, Lala, because I already told you when OT7 comes back, I'm stealing you. So wherever I'm going, you're coming with me. So
yes, I know.
They're also just going to have to miss that chance. We might have to just go to California with Nay. So.
Oh, I know. There's already like plans in the works. Yeah. I already told the wife will be going with us, because there's no way that I'm going to another state without her. So she already said it. She's like, if you're going to California, you know I'm going with. I was like, I know. I already told them.
Yes. And then like what I appreciate, because I didn't get to see Yoongi's tour, still am sad about that. But it's like, it also just shows like even within the group, they have their own musical taste. Because even though they're both part of like what we consider the rap line in BTS, like the way Yoongi's was more like rap heavy, like a rap concert. And then Hobie's did have his like he went back to his roots of like the street dancing and the dancing, which shout out to the dancers because they made it so enjoyable. I enjoyed all the dancers he had, like whatever process he had to go through to pick those dancers. Like Hobie knows what he wants. OK, they were just so great. And I love like the spotlight that he gave them. I also really appreciated because I know they always shout out like their band, but like the fact that he also gave like his dancers a shout out and like, you know, towards the encore of like giving them their names and the platform risen up to like show like which name fit with the person. I really appreciated that a lot as a person who's always appreciated dance as a child. So funny enough, like when I was like 6 or 7, I don't know what was going on with me, but I was like, I want to marry a street dancer. Obviously, I don't feel that way now, but it's just I feel like it's a whole like 360.
Yeah.
But I think Hobie's kind of came back as my bias wrecker because he was my bias wrecker when I first got into BTS. But that was before I got to know the other members. Obviously, Namjoon I don't know what happened. I just clicked. I was like, OK, so you. But I'll still try to get to know the other members, which I love and adore. But then Hobie was my bias wrecker for the longest. And I was like, oh, no, all 6, which they still are. I'm heavy OT7. But after this tour, I think he kind of creeped back up there as the wrecker.
I was about to ask you right now, is he back as the wrecker? Because like
I think he might be back as the wrecker. But like I just bias line for rap line in general.
Yeah, so do I.
But those two will be the death of me, okay? God.
I bias. Yeah. I bias. Honestly, it's always OT7. It always will be OT7 because I love every single one of them for different reasons too, right? Because they bring something different to the group as individuals. And it's not BTS if it's not OT7. Point blank.
Exactly. Preach it.
But I am a rap girl. I am a rap line. And it follows through to all my other fucking K-pop groups. It follows through. I somehow always end up managing, like, biasing the fucking rapper of the group.
Someone made fun of me for that too. I always either find the rapper or the dancer. It's one of those two. I either find the main dancer or I find the main rapper.
Me, it's rapper or leader. Because with ATEEZ, it's Honjun, rapper and leader. BTS, it's funny because RM is the one that got my attention when I first started getting into BTS. And then Yoongi took over. And obviously, there's JK being the little shit he is.
I don't know what it is with me and JK. We go on and off, but I always say, like, if we were ever in a situation where, like, obviously we had a chance to talk, I feel like we would be besties. I really do. Like, JK gives me bestie vibes.
That's how I feel with V.
And I don't know if it's because we're the same age, because I noticed, like, as he's gotten more comfortable express himself, we kind of have the same personality in a way, which I'm like, please get out of my head, sir.
I mean, he is an earth sign. But how did you enjoy the show?
Well, I'm going to talk about it more when Gina and Nay come. Okay, but yeah, it was crazy. And plus, too, like, my experience, I don't know if I already said it on here. I think I did. Listen, we've been rambling so much. I'm starting to forget what I'm saying as we continue to record. But I was lucky enough. First day, Nay did get us sound check tickets on her own during the initial, like, ticket buying, which I know she was nervous as hell for, and she was freaking out. I think she kept saying, like, she felt like she was going to throw up the whole time. Mm-hmm. She was buying tickets. So, but Nay got some luck because she was able to get her daughter VIP for LA. So I was just like, Nay, do not underestimate your ticketing power. And I know Shay was pissed because the two people with the ticket luck were going to the same place. Mm-hmm. So there's that. And then I know Nay and Gina should say I should take more credit for it, but I was randomly on StubHub one day and I saw a ticket price for like 4 tickets that wasn't $1,000. And I sent it to Gina. I was like, wow, this is the lowest I've ever seen, like a resale ticket for Floor that close. I think it was about like $700 or something, but it was still kind of close, I feel like, to the face value of the VIP tickets. And when I went back on there, they disappeared, and I like texted the little group we made to prepare for the trip. I was like, oh, damn, never mind. Those tickets are gone. And Gina's like, yeah, that's because I bought them. I was like, Gina, I did not send this to you to buy them. I just like, what do you mean you bought them? She's like, yeah, that's a really good price. And I talked to Paul and everything. He's like, go for it. So I just bought them. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So that was my first time really having Floor like that for a big artist. Like, I've done general admission for other groups I've seen before. Well, let me say groups. Let me just say artists. Yes, artists. Because I was like, well, one of them technically was a group, but it wasn't K-pop. But anyway, so I've never done Floor before. And even for the first day, I've never done like a sound check like that. So I didn't know how sound check was going to go. And then I had also come across a TikTok where they were saying, like, guys, ask the people at the venues to like check your tickets if you bought resale tickets on Floor because they're honoring sound check. So I had also mentioned that to the girls, and then we were all freaking out like, oh my God, because, you know, usually for resale tickets, they don't honor it. So we were just like in anticipation the whole time, like, will they honor our resale tickets? And then lo and behold, like, whatever is in the universe was on our side because they did honor it. So the fact that we got sound check like twice was just an experience I've never had before. So I do think for me that did, like, because I know Gina was a little not upset, but, you know, that's her bias. So like she can talk about that more too. Just wanted to be a little bit closer. I'm like, Gina, we got sound checked twice and we were actually decently close, especially day 2, like being in the middle section like that. Like the delusion took over sometimes. So I feel like Hobie was staring at us at certain points. I'm like, how far back can they actually see? Because we were like in the main middle section, but like row 11. So Lala, when I said we were dead set in the middle, like if we were a little bit closer, we are literally behind the camera guy that films him. So like you can see him on the big screens. Like that's how in the middle we were. Obviously, me paying attention to Hobie more because I was that close. Like I didn't realize how much he closes his eyes when he's rapping, but also too looking at the camera. So that's why I'm like, that could be my delusion, but who knows? Maybe my pink hair stood out. I don't know. It was really cute, too, because some random girl did ask me when I was waiting for Gina and Nate, because there was one time I went ahead of them before we went into the arena. She's like, I hope you got barricade because you're way too cute to not have it. I was like, oh, I don't.
That's love right there.
I know.
Thank you.
I was so flustered. I didn't know what to say. And that was day 2. So I wasn't even wearing my outfit that I made that I've posted on our TikTok and the Instagram. So I was just like, oh, you're so nice. So Thank you.
That's so cute.
I got a lot of compliments on my hair. For people who don't follow us on social media, I decided to go all out. So even now, my hair is half blue, half pink. So
it looked so good. Like the whole entire thing and your outfit came out so good. I know you were stressing to get it done, but it came out so good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, it was fun. And then this is also the concert I've gotten the most freebies for either. So I usually don't really get that many freebies. And I've been to other like K-pop concerts before. There was an incident where I kind of lost some, but I'll talk about that later because I already told you what happened day 2 when we were leaving the venue. And I'm kind of glad you weren't there because I feel like you would have scrapped with security. But Gina was already about to scrap with security. So it's fine. I'm glad to have friends that love me enough to do that. But
I think Gina could even say like, yeah, I kind of turn into like I guess like a hound. Whenever I'm with like a group of people and stuff like that. So
it's fine. I appreciate it. But yeah, it was just an overall experience. Everyone was really nice there, really cool. I didn't run into anybody who like, even for the fans who were rude or anything, everyone helped each other out. We were dehydrated as fuck, but we tried our best because I didn't want to be getting up to go pee all the time.
Yeah.
But we learned better after the first day because we didn't realize on the floor at the arena there was a private section they opened up for people on the floor. So we didn't have to like go all the way out, like climb up
the stairs and everything.
Yeah, to go out and get food. So thankfully, we learned about that second day. So we were able to, after sound check, we just hung out there until the show started and things like that. And then because of day 2, I was more in the middle. I did something for the first time where like I actually put my phone away besides a few pictures to actually enjoy the experience. While I loved that so much, there's certain things that he did where I was like, damn, I wish I had my phone because I'll explain it more. And again, I could be biased, but I do feel like in Oakland, he was a lot more sillier than I've ever seen him before.
I feel like I think with almost all the artists, they get very silly when it comes to California. But I have a feeling is because whenever they're here in the States and they're recording, they're either recording in California or they're recording in New York. So like, I feel like that becomes like a second home.
Yes, but like even for LA, and maybe because it was his first time doing the stadium, all the clips I've seen, I still feel like it's different from Oakland. I'll explain it a little bit more when the girls come on here. But like even the way he was like talking in between, I don't know, it just felt different for me. And maybe Gina will say that's her theory of why people were complaining more about Oakland. But again, we'll talk about that later when we're all recording. But yeah, it was just, I had a fun experience. I was really happy to see him, especially since I couldn't see Yoongi. But again, I think I've explained on here before, music wise, when it comes to their solo music, behind like RM's, Hobies is the second person that I listen to the most as far as like their solo music. So if I was going to see anyone do a solo tour, would have been Hobie, because I do listen to his solo music the most out of Namjoon, which I don't know if he would ever do a solo tour, but
it'd be interesting if he ever did. I was literally going to ask, like, how do we think we would vision that? Because like, obviously we had Yoongi and he did more like a rocker rap type of situation. And then obviously we have Hobie who kind of went back into his roots when it comes to the street dancing. It'd be interesting to see if if he were to have done a tour, like what it would look like.
I don't know, because if you listen to like music from his first mixtape to now, it's very different.
It is very different.
And it's definitely more on the rap, like, but like moody type, if that makes sense. I don't want to say like emo, but there's definitely like feelings there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that would look like, to be honest. And I personally, and again, it could change. But I don't know if he would ever perform songs from his first mixtape ever again. And that can come into a lot of things, because I know it was part of the time when he was getting a lot of backlash for things and like the accusations of being insensitive to certain things. So I don't know if he's embarrassed by it, because if you notice, when a lot of the members were putting songs they put on SoundCloud onto official streaming sites, he never did that except for the song Bicycle. So if you want to listen to his first mixtape, which I'm not even sure if most people still know exists, you still got to go to SoundCloud. So I don't know if he ever did. He would just do songs from like Mono, Indigo, and Right Place, Wrong Person with a mixture of BTS songs. And even BTS songs, like what songs would that be? Would he be dancing? Would he just do ones where like you're just jumping around the most, like do a Yoongi? Because Yoongi didn't really dance that much. Not like choreography dance like Hobie did. So
yeah, that'd be interesting. Again, I don't think we would see that.
I don't think so either, which I'm okay with, but I wouldn't turn it down if he did one. I'm just saying, I'll be the first one in line to buy a ticket.
Obviously, he's your bias.
I mean, yes, but still.
Like, I hope so.
I will be in that venue. I will make sure nothing stops me from being in that venue.
I would love to see it, and then that would be like a full circle for me, because again, I'm a rap line girl. So
right, you get to see all the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, talking about, what we would envision, why don't we go ahead and go to what our dream BTS set list would look like?
Yes. So I thought it was a great idea, as we prepare for them coming back, to make our own little dream set list, which I still feel like I failed. Because I did my research to see like an average concert, including Hobie's, including the 2 new songs that he put out during the tour, how many songs he performed, including like the encore and like mashups. And they came to around between 25 and 28 songs. Even when I went back to like look up Permission to Dance for LA and Love Yourself for the whole group, it ranged between like 25 songs. And I failed that exponentially, because I think I'm over 30 songs, and that's not even including the solo songs I would like them to perform, if that ever happens, where they get a section where they can perform their solo songs outside like the group that they did in chapter 2. And don't gotta be all of them. And there's still songs I feel like I want to replace and put other ones in here. So I struggled with this a lot. And of course, I told Lala we can always go back and update this when they come back and if they put out a new album and all that. But this was really hard for me. I don't even know if I liked this list I made.
I'm looking at mine.
They have so many songs.
Mine's shorter, which Simi already basically like yelled at me a little earlier, a 4, because
why don't you go first, since I have about 30 something you got. Do you want to tell the number?
So I was okay. So here's the thing. When I originally was thinking of this, I was hoping to like do like 15 songs, because again, I know that they're going to come out with an album. And of course, once they go on tour, they're going to be performing a good chunk of like the new album. Right. So my goal originally was 15, but I actually landed at 12. I don't know why, but I did. I'm kind of happy with my list, but there are some like of the group songs where I'm all like, maybe I kind of want to change it. Now, when it comes to their solo work, I love what I have, except when it comes for RM. I had the hardest time. Too. I had the hardest time to pick what song from his albums I wanted him to perform. But I have like a little note on mine where I'll explain it. So we'll go to the very first one, and I separated them by groups. So rap line, vocal line. So rap line, obviously, I would love to see them do Silver Spoon.
Only rap line do Silver Spoon, or not the whole group?
Rap line.
That's interesting.
I would love to see all of them, because I know that V could do a killer. I've seen the clips of them, like the whole group doing Silver Spoon.
I mean, especially since it's a group song.
Yeah.
I'm going to need your thought process behind that. I'm going to need your thought process behind that.
Because so both Yoongi and Hobie did clips of this song. So I don't know why I feel like it would be a closure if we had RM involved with that as well.
Yes, but I'm just surprised for like a group return tour. You would just want Rap Line to do it and not the whole group.
Well, because here's the thing. For vocal line, I picked out Dimple.
Okay.
Now, I would have, because I was contemplating this, and I was looking at like I don't want to call the last album that they released, because it's not necessarily a last album, right? I was thinking of doing Cypher 3 for Rap Line. But I don't know. Something with Silver Spoon. So, but now when it comes to like a group, and this is going to get like a little bit like emotional with them being back. And in this order, I would like for them to perform Magic Shop, Home, and then Run BTS.
So with Home, I don't know if you know this because I didn't put it on my list, but that's one of my favorite songs and I would love them to perform it too. I'm lucky I've heard it live, but there's certain songs I didn't put on and I forgot all the songs, but I remember Home was one of them because there was a issue where one of the writers, I think he was Japanese, but remember when he got arrested for, I think, trigger warning? I believe it was like child molestation. It had to involve a child. It was for something.
Is that one of the songs? Don't tell me that, because
that is one of the songs. That's why I didn't put it on my list.
Love Maze was another one that I was aiming for, and I was like, wait, no, I think he was involved in. God damn it. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to.
There's like about 10 songs he was involved with, and I'm proud of them for doing it. That they are not going to perform live anymore, or so they said. I don't know if anything's going to change, but back then when he got arrested, they said they weren't going to perform live anymore, so he doesn't get any type of like credit like residual credit.
Makes sense. God damn it. Okay, so I'm gonna have to change that.
But I wanted to put Home on there too. I'm just letting you know. That was my compilation, and then I remembered that, and I was like, damn it.
I have to hold on. I gotta put this as a note.
I need to look up the full list too, because I might have songs on here.
You know what? I have it written somewhere. And I don't know where
we will do that when we do our update, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, okay. And we'll just go ahead and move on with that, because I can't think on the top of my head what I would replace with Home at this moment.
Yeah.
So fine. That would just get edited later on. So after that, when it comes to like their solo, Hobie was easy. So I right away. So I literally like do. Like when it came to their solo stuff, I kind of already knew. There was a couple songs where I was all like, battling it out. With Hobie, I would like for him to do Equal Sign. Yoongi, I would love for him to do D-Day. JK, I would really love to see him. I would really love to see this live. Because this is one of my favorites from his solo is Somebody.
That's a good one.
Yeah. V, I loved his album, and his album helps me with homework. But for some reason, Friends. I would love to see Friends in person. I need, okay, yes. It's not that I want. I need to see him perform Friends. Jimin. So I literally, the easiest members went first that I could easily pick out. Jimin, Jin, and RM. I had a hard time. RM was the most toughest one, but Jimin, I kind of narrowed it down, and I ended up picking Closer Than This. Because to me, as much as I wanted to, there was the other song that I wanted to pick was Who, but I love when they sing in Korean, and if they mix between Korean and English, like I love it. So I ended up going with Closer Than This. With Jin, I love his album. I love his album so much. I had that thing on repeat when it came out for like 2-3 weeks. Dead serious. With him, I did Falling.
That's a good one.
Now, RM.
Listen, no, I also struggled with his because I don't know why. I cannot predict him. I was like, what? Why? What song would you actually want to perform?
And I'm still not even happy with the one I chose. So here's the thing with him. If it were up to me, I would have RM do Come Back to Me from his album Right Place, Wrong Person.
Oh, so you want us all to cry. That's what you want. You want me to like go through emotional damage and cry. That's cool. It's fine. Keep going. You want me to be in a wreck. As someone who doesn't actually cry, I didn't even cry after Hobie. I know Gina did, but again, that's her bias. We'll talk about that. But like, even when I came home, I did not cry. You want me to cry? Okay.
They're back home. We should be crying. Anyways,
I might actually cry if I go to an OT7 concert. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I do actually think as a person who I just said does not cry, I might actually cry.
I will most likely cry once they're all back for the military. Like once Yoongi comes back, I did not break until I cried when Yoongi left to go to the military. And then as soon as the last two members left, like I thought I had cried when Yoongi left. When the last two left, I was a whole fucking mess for like 2-3 weeks. My poor
even cry when
wife too was trying everything under the books
to calm you down.
Happy. Yeah. But okay, but here's the thing. I didn't want, as much as I would love to have that song, a part of me believes that he won't do a song from Right Place, Wrong Person, only because he wanted that project to be separated from BTS RM. Like he wanted that separation when he did that whole album. He even kind of stopped talking to the members. You know, he kind of went MIA to do that album, to give himself, because even when he did Indigo, he was still thinking of, I still have to be careful with the image I do because of I'm the leader of BTS. You know, so I went ahead and picked a song from Indigo. And I picked Closer for RM.
I would love to hear Closer live.
I would love to hear that live. Actually, honestly, I would love to hear that entire album live. So if he were to go on tour, by all means. By all means, I'd be there. But yeah, I would have really preferred to ended up being Come Back to Me from Right Place, Wrong Person. And that was my number 12.
Oh, that was short. I didn't realize that was the end of your list.
Mm-hmm. Mine went by really quickly because there's certain things where like, I was like, yeah, I'm dead set on this.
Okay. Well, mine is going to be a lot longer because I try to envision it like an actual concert list. So besides the first 5 songs, I actually did try to envision how I wanted the opening to be. The rest are in it like particular order, and you did better than me with the solos because I picked 2 songs they could either do, or like if they did a mashup, like maybe a chorus from one song to another. You know, they love a good mashup, and I do feel like I went more typical than you and chose more title tracks, but that's fine.
It's okay.
These are our dream list.
Again, it's going to be edited and changed, which is the other thing that I told myself too. Like as we get closer, even as we get closer to the concert, actually, you know, I know that my list will grow.
Yeah. So the first song on my list should not be a surpriser for you guys. This is a song I've been begging since 2023 for them to perform. And I've actually been slacking. So the more we talk, anytime we talk about BTS, I made a promise. I will mention this song because I want them to perform this song. Lala, I hope you know with you laughing, you know which song I'm talking about. You know what song I'm talking about, right?
I think.
Do you want to say it before I say it or no?
No, we'll see.
Okay, well, Come Back Home. Okay, that needs to be not only on the set list, that needs to be the opening. I keep telling y'all do better with the scripts than I do. You can make a cute, cheeky way of saying, hey, armies, we are back. It is time for the rest of y'all to come back home. I know y'all have the money, Hybe, whoever the Hybe agent who be listening to fans to get critiques. Listen to me now. Most of the time, I don't want y'all to listen, but listen to me today. I know y'all got the money to pay whatever licensing you need to SOTAEZ to have them perform this song. Okay? Come back home. Come back home. And it needs to be the opening. You need to be telling armies it's time to come back home because we're back.
Honestly, that would be perfect.
That would be the perfect opening.
And it's funny.
And this part is going on social media because I need the word to spread. Okay. We're posting this section on our TikTok, the Instagram, the Twitter. I need whoever can translate this. Come back home. Needs to be on the set list. And every time we talk about BTS on this podcast, I will bring it up until the day of the concert. Until wherever, whether it's in Seoul, whether it's in another city, I see them perform that for a show, I will be begging for come back home.
You know what's really
funny? That's how serious I am.
It was really funny is I was going to put that on my list too. And I literally looked at it. I'm like, Simi's going to have it on hers.
You're damn right I am. Okay? Because ever since I was first getting into them and I bought the fourth Muster DVD, not knowing what a muster was, and I saw them perform that, I'm like, where is the song? Why have I not heard it? I thought I did my BTS journey of the rabbit hole. What is this? What is this? And that's the only time they ever performed that song live. Only time. So unless you are unaware of the fourth Mustard, you wouldn't know about it. Which is why I was so surprised they showed the official music video during the little Army Festa when they were going back and showing music videos. Maybe that means someone's listening to me. Maybe that means I have a chance. But anyway, I will continue before I continue my rant for another 30 minutes. Come back home.
Maybe that's what they're planning to do. Because they're back from the military.
Girl, I swear to God, if they end up doing what I've been saying, I might actually freak out. You might actually need to check on me, because if that's gonna send me into a spiral that maybe someone actually did hear me and listen and suggest, and I don't think I'd be okay.
We'll be okay. It'll be okay.
Okay. Anyway, yes, come back home, please, please, please. Number one, and that's the opening. And then the remaining 4 songs, I feel like to follow the theme of Come Back Home would be really great. Like after maybe they do come back home and do their introductions and stuff, they can do Attack on Bangtan, Spine Breaker, because there is a line at the very beginning where they're like, BTS is back. Mic Drop, because Mic Drop is never leaving the set list, okay? I don't need that song. I don't even care if they don't do the dance anymore. Mic Drop is never leaving the set list. And Run BTS. Those are my 5 as far as openings I think I would like to see them do.
That would actually be really good.
Yes. Now, the remaining songs I have on here have no particular order. I kind of also just went into the order where I was looking at albums old to new. And again, this can change if they drop an album before that tour, which I'm sure they will. But on my list, I have No More Dream. Listen, if you're coming back, you got to go back to your roots. They don't really perform a lot of songs from their Are You Late 2 album. Mm-hmm. And I can kind of see for certain reasons. I don't have to say it out loud. If you know, you know. But the one song I would like to hear live actually is We On. I was going to put If I Ruled the World, because I do enjoy that song. But some of the lyrics need to be changed. Let's be honest. Those lyrics need to be changed. Just a few. It's okay. Jump. I would really like to hear Jump live. Yes. Just One Day.
I love that song. That's one of my favorites.
Hip Hop File. And I said it correctly this time, Brianna. Okay? If y'all want to know, you can go listen to our experience seeing them in LA. The way I used to say is She Dragged Me. It's fine. The Hip Hop File. Look Here. Hold Me Tight, which I battled with because I was like either Hold Me Tight or Autumn Leaves. But I personally like Hold Me Tight a lot more. So Hold Me Tight. I Need Boys with Fun to come back. Of course, like Lala, Silver Spoon, or Bepse. That's also never leaving the set list. And that's full group for me. My City. That's actually one of my favorite songs out of their whole discography. So I would like to hear it live. Save Me. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I would really love to hear 21st Century Girl live. Oh, I love that song.
Me too. I was trying to be very realistic, though. And was like, as much as I would love to hear That one. The chances of them playing that live, though.
Well, this is why this is a dream set list. So I'm adding, yes, 21st Century Girl, Outro Wings, which I have heard live, luckily, but I would still like to hear it again. Now for Rap Line, I would really love if they can bring it back from when they did it in the finale of the Wings tour to just do a cypher melody. And what that consisted of back then when I watched it on the DVD I bought. So one member just did like a chorus of Cypher 1. I don't remember which members did which. Another member did like a chorus from Cypher 2. And then third one did Cypher 3. And all three of them did Cypher 4. Because I will say it, I don't know if I ever said it before, I like Cypher 4 more than Cypher 3. I think Cypher 4 is better than Cypher 3. I'm going to say it. I know Cypher 3 is popular. Everyone gets hyped for Cypher 3, but I just feel like you can listen to 4 in any mood that you're in. It's a great message about no matter what the haters say, to love yourself. I just need to hear Cypher 4 live once. I didn't hear it because I didn't go see Yoongi. I joined the fandom way too late. So they can do a melody of combining 1, 2, and 3, and then just do Cypher 4. And to follow that up to Do Dang.
Oh. I don't know how the hell did I forget that one.
I love Ugg. Ugg gives us a hypeness, but I need to hear Dang. I need to hear Dang live. And Yoongi did perform Dang during his set list.
He did. So how did I? You know what? Forget Silver Spoon. I want Dang from the Rap Line.
Bring all the Korean culture too. Like make it. Oh my God, the way they can set that up too. I need to hear that live. And then for vocal line, I figured they can do a cute little melody of mashing up the songs Love Is Not Over and Lost, and then they can end it with Dimple. And then so bringing it back to the group, I'm almost done. I have Fake Love, something about ARMY when they perform Fake Love. We all apparently are going through our past trauma of having our hearts broken. The way we sing that song together is fine. I really love On Pond Man. I love when I saw them at MetLife and they had the floats, the inflatables. I want On Pond Man. Black Swan, because that is my song. God, I love when they perform Black Swan. Disease, Telepathy. Idol is also another one that should never leave the set list, even though I know that song exhausts them.
Yeah. They don't got to dance to it. Just sing to it.
They don't.
Let's put that out there. You do not have to sing it or dance to it. Just sing it.
Just sing it and we will be fine. Just hype us up. Maybe those are times you can go into the crowd more as well. I don't know. But yes, Idol. Also Go-Go, because I was very sad that they performed it in Vegas and not LA. But it's fine. I did get home. So I guess I can offset that because they may never perform home again. So and then I ended it with Magic Shop. Epilogue, Young Forever, and We Are Bulletproof, The Eternal. So, but those are just the groups. I need to do the solos real quick. I told you my list was long. So like Lala, I struggled with Namjoon because I'm like, I just don't know, because his music is so separate from BTS. Like this is the music he definitely would have made if he never became a member of BTS. And even with his music, he makes it to where you can tell where he is at his life. So it's like, that's why I don't know. Like I was telling you earlier about his first mixtape, besides the backlash, I personally don't know. And I think I've said this maybe 2 years ago when I played the game with Macy. I also low-key don't even know if he's really embarrassed by his first mixtape. I just don't know. I would love to hear some songs off there, but I wouldn't be shocked if I didn't. But if I did, the two I would pick, like out of the whole thing, would be either Rush, which had a feature on it, but there's a way I'm sure he can offset the feature or let the backtrack play. Or another one called Borio, which was more like a hype song to get the crowd like going and all that. I didn't put any songs from Mono because kind of like you with Right Place, Wrong Person, that was also at a time where he was really going through it mentally. The only song I know he's comfortable performing is Soul, because he's performed it many times. So that's the only song realistically I can see him doing. But I don't know about the other songs. For Indigo, I would really like to see, I know people mostly choose Wildflower, but I would personally like to see either Still Life or Like You Closer.
I know for a fact if he were to do it from Indigo, it will be Wildflower.
Yes.
I just know, but I want him to know, like, you have other choices, sir. You have other fucking choices.
And I would like to see either Still Life or Closer. I think a lot of us would actually like to see Closer.
Still Life would be another good one, though. Still Life, you know where I see him doing Still Life is them going to LA and him coming.
Anderson .Paak.
Yes.
I could see that too. Which, off topic real quick, I'm sad Becky didn't show up. A lot of us were speculating Becky. I'm surprised Miguel came twice, though. Like, good for Miguel for coming, not just one day, but twice. But a lot of us were speculating Becky. I ain't gonna lie. I was a little sad.
A part of me was happy, but another part of me was really sad because I think that would have been such a good opportunity.
It would have.
For it to be like at a concert.
Yeah.
But there might have been a possibility where she might have not been able to. There might have been a conflicting of schedules. So,
which is fine. We understand. But I know a lot of us were sad and disappointed.
I'm just happy I got to see it at Lollapalooza. But again, that would have been so great.
I know.
So great. It's okay. It's okay. Keep going.
Hey, y'all. It is Simone. I realized when we were recording this, me and Lala got way too excited as well as very distracted. I never actually said the songs I would want if Namjoon performed any songs from Right Place, Wrong Person. I had started and then we got sidetracked. So the songs I would like him to perform off that album, again in our fake imaginary dream set list, would be Domodachi. If you had listened to our review of his whole album that I did with Shay, Gina, and Jen, you would know that is one of my favorite songs off the album, and it still is. So I would like to hear that be performed, as well as Lost. I just wanted to come in here and say that real quick because I realized I didn't actually say the songs. Yes, so for Jin, I have either Running Wild, which I know is a title track, but I feel like he would do a good job performing that, or Super Tuna. I need to hear Super Tuna live. I'm sorry. I need to do the little fish dance. Jump G. I need him to do Super Tuna. And maybe he convinced the members to come out and do it with him. I don't know. But I need to see it.
Oh, he would totally bully them to do it. Come on now.
That's why I need to see it.
Yeah.
And it would be the extended version too. Remember how he had the dancers pretend to be a fish that they were fishing and one of them jump in the arms? I can totally see him making Maknae Line do that.
Yep.
I don't know who would be the fish, but maybe Jimin.
Jimin?
I think Jimin would be the fish and like Tae and JK would have to catch him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That would be hilarious.
Oh, those poor guys. Someone please in the Hive or in that area that can, translate it for them. Let them know this is a great idea.
And then for Yoongi, like, I'm sorry, and maybe it's because I missed it. I need to see August D perform. I need to see it.
That was so good.
Also, I personally like Deji Twa, so I did put Deji Twa as another song. Because there's other songs I like that are slower that he could have done, but those are my two for Yoongi. Hobie I kind of struggled with a little bit too. Not as much as Namjoon, but I did struggle for him. Now, unpopular opinion, I would actually like to see him continue doing Mona Lisa. There's something about Mona Lisa I've been really enjoying, and he's been getting very unhinged. That belt, sir, and the way the cameraman has been focusing on that freaking belt. I need you to do Mona Lisa. And unpopular opinion, my second one's actually Pandora's Box. I think that's beating Arson for me as one of my favorite off of Jack in the Box. I don't know how you can go from the grunge rap rock to Mona Lisa, but we'll find a way. Okay. And he says he does his little chant of like the J to the Hope, Jung to the Hemong, Jack in the Box, which was the inspiration of my jacket to like, I'm J Hope. So I would like to see that. For Jimin, I just put the 2 title tracks Like Crazy and Who. Tay, I actually put Rainy Days. I don't know why, but I really enjoy that song. Or like you, I put Friends because that's my favorite Tay song so far from him.
Yeah.
It's so good. Mm-hmm. I would really love to see that live. And then for JK, I just put 7 and Standing Next to You. But like I was obsessed with 7 for the longest time. So I would just like to see it live. And I know he likes to do Standing Next to You. So with the emphasis of having come really back home. Thank you. Again, it's a lot of songs. So obviously they can't do all of them. But I mean, choose 28 out of all the songs I just gave y'all. It's fine. All right. So anything else before we left? We went a lot longer than we thought, but hey, we've been gone for almost a month, so it's fine. We'll give them a treat. I don't know if people like our longer episodes or not, but yeah, girl. I feel like we've been here for almost 2 hours. Have we not?
Yes, it's already 1.
Well, it's 2 my time, so.
And we started at 10.
Well, 30, we started actually recording.
Yeah. So 2 hours, about 2 hours and a half.
Yeah.
Almost, give or take.
Yeah. It's fine. We needed to rant. We needed to catch up. And we needed to fangirl. I feel like that's just basically the... What am I looking for? The synapse of the podcast? I don't know.
It was still good. It was still fun. Hopefully you stuck around all the way to the very end. I know we were a little angry and a little depressing at the beginning of this episode. Yeah, it wasn't even supposed to go that long.
It really wasn't. I literally told Lala because I didn't want to harp on it. I just wanted to say a few words. And then apparently I kept going.
It's okay. We all need those moments. It needed to come out of the system. It eventually would have happened.
Yeah.
So as long as we got it out of the way.
I will probably put times, or maybe one of us will put timestamps for
this episode,
the description, so people know like if they want to skip certain sections. So we'll add timestamps to this very long episode, especially since we ramble. It's different when we do reviews, but yeah. Yes, but you guys can let us know your feelings, especially if you're a K-pop fan, on everything that happened, especially if you're a Black K-pop fan. Let us know. We've actually been getting quite a few comments on our YouTube. So we actually have gotten 2 and 1 of a troll. So I know that means we're actually getting somewhere and listening. So for us to get our first troll comment on any platform, I was like, oh my God, we're getting bigger.
You know what's so funny is, so when you sent that to me, we were out at the pub, I believe, that weekend for Hobies. We were at the pub and I showed it to the girls. Everybody celebrated. Everyone celebrated. Everyone was all like, oh, you're doing something right.
Oh my God. I don't know if I should be scared about that or not.
I actually have to bring this back around to her because Shay's all like, I showed it to her the next day. She was wasted that night. But the next day I had showed it to her. And she's all like, let me see that hate comment. So she read it and she's all like, I'm going to need to listen to this episode. You need to send it to me so I can listen to it because I need to know what this fool is talking about. Oh.
God, we love you, Shay. We love you. And then there's another comment on part 2, but it's not anywhere near that first comment was. So, yeah, I guess we are getting noticed to the point where people are going to start interacting. So thank you to the second person who commented because she had just mentioned, or let me not put genders. They had just mentioned like agreeing with us about the Leah thing, how like basically they just couldn't handle it. And instead of trying to work with the group, they just trying to sabotage everybody. So, yeah.
Shout out.
Right. And then, of course, I will shout her out. And she's in our Discord. Nevaeh, I feel like, is the #1 supporter of this podcast because she's always like commenting on Spotify. She'll like share some episodes in the Discord server. So like, I love you, Nevaeh. Thank you for being such a big supporter of this podcast. I truly appreciate it, girl. So
big heart.
I promise if we ever get to some point where we're like, I don't know, maybe doing stuff like we actually get noticed by like brand or something, I got you, girl. Got you.
For sure on that.
No, exactly. Yes. But yes. Also, if you are an ARMY, let us know your dream set list, or at least maybe 3 songs you would like to hear, because I don't know, the comment section might get really long if you list like we did. Or if there's any songs you agree with us on there. And I hope one of them is Come Back Home. Okay. I need as many people as I can get to rally behind me to make this happen. I promise, Lala, that clip we're putting on social media. Okay.
Okay. That works for me.
I need it to spread.
Listen, I will put that song on my, I will put that song on my set list because that would be perfect.
Okay. Thank you. Any more closing thoughts?
None whatsoever. Obviously, everybody just be kind to one another. Try to be supportive. You know, listen to your friends, especially if you have any Black friends and everything like that. They're having such a hard time in the K-pop field. So be welcoming. If you don't know or don't understand, take time to learn, to educate yourself. Maybe it's time for you to be surrounded by other cultures then, if you're not understanding, and, you know, open up your mind a little bit more. That's all I got.
And you said it way better than I ever could. So you can always email us at iwasthinkingpod@gmail.com. You can follow us on social media everywhere except Facebook at this point. I was thinking pod, and I will put in the description of how to spell it because it's not like thinking. The thinking part is like an N. We would really appreciate it if you can rate us the highest ratings or whatever platform you're using to listen to us. If you listen on Spotify, now you can comment directly on that episode. I think that's it. That's all I say for promotions. Yes. So I have been Simone. That has been Lala, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.